I coach women realtors to live the pinnacle CEO agent lifestyle. I believe there are 4 levels of agents. Everybody comes in hidden. We all come in the same hidden. Then we get distracted. Then we become attractive when we're making 80,000 plus. Most people just stay there. They don't know there's something else available. And the CEO agent lifestyle is you're making great money, serving great clients who actually honor and respect your expertise while living a great life. So Tammy and I really resonate. Like when I saw the simple touches, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like me, simple. Like I don't like it complicated. And also I like how Tammany says, she wants you to enjoy your life. So I do as well. So today I'm going to share with you precisely how to stand out in social media. And you might think, well, what the heck are we doing that when Tammany's the expert, right? But Tammany's the expert in content. And what I'm going to share with you today is complement to that. Okay. So, and before I get into what I'm going to share, I want you to tell me in the chat, just so I can get a gauge of, on a scale of 1 to 10, and I know that Tammany is your expert guide in this, but where you are now with your showing up, as I call it, you're showing up on social media. Like how confident are you when you show up? And I'm not talking about your content, but when you show up live or when you post or do a reel or do a story, like what is your confidence level? 10 is, man, I got this. I would be remiss not to show up because that's how confident I am that I can help people. And then a 1 is, oh my gosh, like I'm just wobbly. So I'm just curious. Okay, Carolyn's a 3, 9, 7 on Facebook. Oh, different on Facebook, different on Insta. Yeah. Yay. I'm so excited. Most of you are like, 7, 8. Very, very good. All right.
I'm so proud.
Yeah. You guys are amazing. Okay, so we know that showing up is all about connection, right? So I'm going to share 3 ways to have you deepen that connection, because let's always start with the intention of what we do. The intention of showing up, the intention of signing up with Tammany, the intention of being here is to what? Create more leads. Because the more leads you have, then the more clients you're going to have, and therefore the more closings. All right. So we need to find a way to expedite the deepening of the relationship, because it's not just about broadening and getting growing your audience if your content falls flat, right? So we want to facilitate their level of trust with you once they find you, right? So we're always connecting. We're never judging. We're always connecting with people on Instagram, and we're always friending people on Facebook. Okay, always. So we don't judge it. Now, if we friend somebody or follow somebody and they end up being something that you don't agree with or align with, then you can just change it. But we want to invite people into our lives so they will invite us into theirs. Okay, so I would definitely write that down. We want to invite people. As you invite people into your world, they will invite you into their world. And what I've seen so much is that, and you guys are really, smart business women, you're smart CEOs to be partnering with Tammy as your coach, because she is giving you the simple path to doing just that. Okay. So even if it feels uncomfortable, you're here and you're doing it. All right. So the relationship with someone is key. And what I find is that most women realtors are looking for their next deal. And it's that, picture if you're married, that your spouse dies and now you're single and you just want to start dating or something. Let's just picture that. And there's a graspy, how to lose a guy in 10 days, graspiness. But I would say 80% of realtors are that. Okay. And I'm talking about women realtors. They're, it's obvious that they're graspy and that they're needy of a deal. So I'm just saying what I'm going to share with you is going to allow you to be attractive as opposed to repelling, which is what how to lose a guy in 30 days or 10 days or whatever it is. Okay. So number 1, the best content facilitates an emotion. Okay. So we want to facilitate an emotion. We'll make somebody feel something. And whether it's the SPCA, whether it's, the sweet kids on with suffering with cancer, the best content will allow you to feel something, because ladies, whether you believe it or not, buying decisions are made through emotion and they're backed up logically. But how many of us are thinking, I've got to post logical content? No, boring. Stop it. Boring. I want you to think about why you're here with Tammany, why you hired Tammany. She's fun as heck. Agree? She's fun as heck. She gives you an emotion. She makes you go, wow, that's freaking cool. Like, I freak out every time I see her stuff. Like, she's attractive. Okay.
I'm blushing.
Right? So you say, wow, that's cool. Or that made me think. Or I didn't know that. Like the Canva hack series, number 8,500. I mean, like, I'm always wowed by it. Okay. Another thing is, ladies, another way to evoke emotion, I'm giving you examples, is to tell a story. Okay. And I know we hear that a lot, but things are happening in your lives day to day that you think isn't post worthy. Okay. But it is, because you're so close to it that it went right by you. But not every realtor is made to be equal, right? Because I'm sure if you had a listing and you've worked with a buyer's agent, that you make sure it gets to the closing table because that other agent had no idea what they were doing, right? So you want to evoke an emotion, get into the heart. So how do you do that? Get out of your own head, okay? Because when we create content from logic in our head, that's why you're like, I'm stumped. What in the heck do I do? Well, that's because you're not thinking about them. You're thinking about you. I need a deal. Oh, and if I do this, look at the other person in this program. They got 10 listings and I'm still over here struggling. That's because you're in your head. So get out of your head and drop it to your heart and say, okay, if I want to be a listing queen, that's something I specialize in. And I did when I was an agent. I always thought solving for the problem of what could I evoke? How could I create a desire for a homeowner to want to sell right now? What's a story that actually happened with one of my past sellers or with me personally that I could share in a way that maybe it started out super sad and maybe it'll make somebody cry? And you're like, oh, I want to be the uplifted. I want to be the happy realtor. Really? No. I mean, there has to be a gamut of emotions shown. So you could say, have you ever, I'm just giving you some, like things to write down. Have you ever felt this way? Have you ever thought this? Or, hey, does this sound familiar? Okay. And I love the reel that Tammany did. Tammany, and I forget how you did this. I got to go back because I did screenshot it or whatever. And I saved it because I want to go back. When those runners were running and you had your face there, that evoked an emotion in me. I was like, that is so dead on.
We talked about this with the remixing reels in our live Q&A a couple of times. But yeah, if you find content that really resonates with you, it's a super easy way to get content out there.
Love it. And it absolutely evoked emotion in me. Okay. Number 2, energy. So we got evoke an emotion and bring energy. Bring an energy. Now, look, I don't think that it's wrong to post a quote, but it's an easy way out. If you're looking at a checklist, I got to post today. I'm in a hurry, doing things that are a waste of time, by the way, but I got to do this. I got to get ready for this. When you're not intentional with your day, you're like, oh, let me just post a quote. And it doesn't even evoke emotion. It's been over and over. It's overdone. It falls flat. The opposite of bringing energy is just going to be when you do it and you don't have a feeling about it and you didn't bring the energy to it, like thinking, how is this going to serve my followers on Instagram? Or how is this going to serve my friends on Facebook? I'm sorry, a picture of clients at closing is over. Like, does that evoke an emotion for anybody? I would say no. And so think about, I want to elevate, like my whole purpose is I want to elevate every woman realtor should know that they are a CEO. Okay. So you're equal to a heart surgeon. You're equal to the best attorney in your market. You are a CEO entrepreneur. And when the heart surgeon comes out of heart surgery, saved another one, is somebody going to take a selfie of him over his patient whose life he or she saved? No. So I just think that's over. Those days are over, and it's an easy way out. And then like a pet, like, look, I have a dog, love my dog. What I'm talking about here is when somebody wants to come in my Facebook group and I go to their profile on Facebook, because it's a Facebook group, and I see a dog, I almost don't want to let them in. Because it's like, wait, what? So you get what you give, ladies. This is what I want to know. There's a law of reciprocity that is, whether you want to believe in it or not, there's a law of reciprocity. And so what you give, you get. And if you're judgy and you don't like some of your clients that you have, you attracted them to you. So when you are creating content, I want you to really think, I want you to use your emotion. Like, how am I feeling right now? Because when you create emotion, if you're feeling empowered, like the 8, 9, 7, 9, those numbers that I asked in the beginning, then you think, okay, what would make my followers on Instagram or my friends on Facebook feel amazing? And, when you're too afraid to use your face, look, I'm 57. I used to think I was really pretty. Okay. And that was who my identity is. I look pretty good for my age. But the fact of the matter is, I'm approaching 60. And I'm like, what is going on? Okay. Nobody shared with me that, anyway, if you're 30, you're like, I don't get it. You will. And then you'll think back to this time. But anyway, you want to really bring who you are to your content. Okay. You want to bring who you are. And that's the energy. And underneath energy, I want you to write, what do I stand for? What do I stand for? Because one of the things that I stood for when I was a realtor, I would, my team did over 50 million a year. Okay. Not revenue. I don't even know what you call volume. Okay. Was the energy that I would bring. I don't even know what I just said. See, this is, what did I just say?
You said, what do I stand for?
That's right. What do I stand for? Thank you. I stood for a Ritz-Carlton 5-star experience at any price point. Okay. Now you don't have to, but that's what I stood for. And it was very clear. It was very clear. And I came from corporate. So my tagline was experience matters. And I remember my haters, because I ended up number 1 when I sold my team. As when I got there, I had just gotten my license and people were like, experience matters. This chick doesn't have any experience. Like, what is this? I decided who I was. That was the energy. I was a successful corporate chick who moved to a podunk area. If anybody's on here from Winchester, Virginia, I moved to a podunk area and I thought, I'm just going to go with who I am. So my experience that mattered was my corporate sales, my corporate marketing, and that's what I led with. So you see, the people who had been there for 20, 30 years and born and raised there, they thought, who is this chick? That's going to fall flat. But because I believed in it, that's the energy that I brought. That's what I stood for. Boom, I rose to the top in short order. Okay. So energy. So what's going to repel is a flat quote that means nothing to you. So when you post, you want to sit back and be like, that was pretty good. Whatever the reactions are, it doesn't matter. Okay. Because what gets in the way of you getting leads on Instagram and Facebook, ladies, is your perception of the reaction.
We do have one gentleman in here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Didn't know that. All right. Men and women. All right. But the good energy that attracts is that which I was talking about, Show and demonstrate what you love about your job. Okay. Share what you stand for. Now, I don't know if you know, if you've ever watched TED Talks. I'm obsessed. But there was a what do you call, research done, 500 TED Talks, and they looked at the 250 most popular and the 250 worst. And so what brings energy is a genuine smile that goes all the way up. Like if you go just to be nice, doesn't evoke emotion. When you bring a smile that has crow's feet at any age, people see that you're genuine smile and a nod and hand gestures. In fact, the most viral TED Talks had 4 times as many hand gestures, 4 times. So I remember I was like, I'm not Italian, I'm Irish, but I remember that my mom would say, stop using your hands, just talk. Wrong. So I liked hearing that, right? And you need to use curiosity, maybe of an event that's coming up or something new that you are launching, like a new logo or a new client experience, right? You want to evoke curiosity as energy, like you want to compel people to come back. You want to compel people to think about you and be like, I wonder what she's fishing at. Like, I wonder what's going on. Or you could say, guess who I'm interviewing next week? And it could be a local entrepreneur that you're meeting on Zoom and that you're going to showcase them, because you give what you get. Remember the law of reciprocity. Okay. Now, this is an idea that I just shared with one of my one-on-one clients, and I wanted to share it with y'all. You could do, hey, you know what happened today? You know what happened today? And that could be a thing. Like Tammany's is not that this is your only one, but the one that I was introduced to you was Realtor Hack number 582 of Canva Realtor Hack number whatever. I loved it. I thought, man, this chick is good. That's what I thought. So can you imagine if, not every time, maybe 80% of the time for now, as you're starting to get people, you want to repeat with delight, by the way. That's the energy. You want to repeat with delight, repeat without apology, right? Because people are busy. It might take you 10 times for them to even get it, right? So, so you say, you know what happened today?
I love that. I love it.
And it's easy. Hey, you know what happened today? I follow this lady on Instagram, and every one of her videos starts out, and she's like, she pretends she's talking to her husband, and she goes, hey, babe, guess what? And then she just says something. And then she'll string them together, and it's really cute and it's really fast. And she's just really fun. Her energy is really fun. And she's like, hey, babe, guess what? And then she says something. And then says, hey, babe, but guess what this? And she's in a different room. Like, and it's like she's in her, like she's doing makeup. And she's like, hey, babe, guess what? I heard bop, bop, bop. And then she's down doing breakfast at the, at her, at the stove. And she's like, hey, babe, I'm making the eggs, but guess what? And it's just hilarious. I love it. So what could you say that feels good to you, that brings some energy and consistency? Because consistency is that word where we love to hate it. I'm sick of hearing it. Who else is sick of hearing it? I am, right? So with consistency, here's the great news. It brings comfort to you as well as your audience. Do you ever think about that? Because here we are constantly trying to attract people to us, and then we feel exhausted and miserable. No, we can choose to say, you know what? I'm doing it my way. I'm going to do that which energizes me and serves me. And then I know it's going to serve my people.
My Canva hack videos are the easiest reels for me to make because
Really?
I have this formula that is proven to work with my audience. So when we talk about going into your insights and seeing the reels that have performed well, what's the formula that you're using, and repeat it with a different topic.
Love that. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Another thing, let's see what I have here. Okay. And when you say, know what happened today, I'm just going to give you some ideas. Tell a story about what you did for your client today or yesterday or last year. And just like really take time to get away from your phone, throw it in the backyard, get it out of there, get a freaking piece of paper and a pen and say, okay, how have I over delivered for my seller clients? And then you have a page or two of seller client stories. How have I over delivered for my buyer clients? And then you have these stories from which to pull. Okay. How you kept a deal together, how you really served a client after closing, selling house hacks you didn't know. There you go. Selling house hacks you didn't know. Boom. All right. Or you could say write, and then insert a word for the rest of the story of what happened. I mean, really be compelling. Like, do you want to hear what happens? Right next. And then I'll tell you what happens next in your messages. Right? Because the whole point is, remember how we started this is you want leads. You want leads, you've got to have a connection, but it can't be a surface connection. It's got to be a deeper connection. Do you see how this is attractive? Like, is this making like sense? Okay. So what I want to encourage you to do as homework, and I'm not done, we're continuing. I just want to stop here and be like, because I know that information makes zero transformation. Okay. But what makes the transformation is taking action. So your homework is to really look at your Instagram feed, look at your Facebook, whatever you're doing. And is there energy on the page? Right? Is there energy on the page? Is it life-giving? Is it flat or attractive? Do you like it? Okay. All right. So the third one is engagement worthy. Engagement worthy. Engagement worthy. See the E's? All right. I got 3 C's, so I got to get to it. Engagement worthy is when you feel compelled. You would feel compelled to like it or save it or share it. If you wouldn't, don't post it. Okay. The goal is a chat. The goal is a connection. So don't forget to direct the person how to connect with you. Direct the person how to connect with you. Okay. Because if you just give information, it's almost like, what am I, the encyclopedia? No, you're like, let's see how I can make this work for you. Or, put a 4 in the comments if this has happened to you, or, you just want to just have some dialogue back and forth. And we're adults, we're CEOs, we're mature, right? And so you want to have an audit of your social media. Okay.
Something that I
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Tammany.
I was just gonna say something that I brought up yesterday at my webinar was think about your comment section as a Reddit feed, because you want that popping off. You want people asking questions. You want people talking to each other in the comments. So creating content that like anchors that conversation and then encouraging them to go at it in the comments, that's only going to boost your profile.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love the word anchor. That's one of my new favorite words. And so yeah, the comments anchor it as engagement worthy. It's exactly what we're talking about. Is it engagement worthy? Well, it is if it gets comments. All right. So does it have these 3 things: emotion, energy, and is it engagement worthy? If not, it's okay. So I'm going to share with you. Again, the goal is connection. Conversation is the quickest path to cash. Okay. Conversation. Connection is the quickest path to cash. Okay. So it's a direct dialogue. I want you to really see that. Like, you're not just checking off a box. You are facilitating direct dialogue. So again, I'm going to give you 3 C's to really help deepen this with you, for you. Okay. And again, you're inviting them into your world so that they reciprocate and invite you into theirs. Okay. And I also want to let you know that most people do not ever engage with you. They consume without engaging. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So before you hired Tammany, how many of you actually engaged with her? You might have liked it, but maybe not. So I don't want you to look at the damn numbers. Don't look at it. It just gets in your way. So the first C is you be curious. You be curious. Okay. You ask questions, use polls, multiple choice, make it easy for them to engage with you. That's the intention, correct? Have a direct dialogue. Tell me if you've ever wondered this on a scale of 1 to 10, like, and I know that Michael Maher, 7 levels, always has that thing where, how old were you when you bought your first house? Right? I mean, it's the whole thing. It's just asking a question that gets engagement. How our brains work, because I really study neuroscience and psychology. And the way the brain works is that when you ask a question, your brain works to get it answered. And so what realtors do, be it man or woman, is what we do, what the human being does, is we usually spend too much time solving the wrong problem. Meaning in this example, I'm going to be consistent and discipline is going to handle me, checking a box. I mean, maybe that'll work. For most people, discipline runs out, which is why diets don't work, which is why there's alcoholics and there's shopaholics and sexaholics. Okay. So we want to be curious. When you ask a good thought-provoking question coming from a place of curiosity, your brain will search for the answer and boom, you've got them evoking emotion and engaging with you. And I'm going to share my screen because I want to make this super. Let's see, why isn't this? I thought I had that already up. Okay. So when you look at Tammany's profile, okay, what do you see in here? You see energy, you see life, you see a smile, you see a direct face looking at you. Look at her smile. Look at this, right? Okay. So you want to look at yours to see, and she does ask questions and she is curious, right? So this is an attractive thing. Okay. So when you look at mine, okay, and I'm nowhere, I mean, I have 2,000 followers and my whole thing is Facebook, but yet I do enjoy it. But, if there's smile, there's genuine, like I'm real. Okay. I invite people in and I want you to figure out what yours looks like. Are you warm and are you inviting people in? Curiosity is a great way, because if you ask really good questions, then you can even have your people that already love you. You could even do a client, an email, like a survey. But anyway, you want to always come from a place of curiosity. All right. Next C is caring. Caring. In my feed and Tammany's feed, you can tell we care. You can just tell we care. It's in our heart. Okay. We're not like, and we're direct. But as far as the caring, it's genuine. Okay. And so when you're creating content, because that, again, the whole purpose of this whole training is how do I get more leads? When you feel like it's fake, it's contrived, okay, then they will. I really want you to know that. So we got to clean up what's in here. What are you really believing about Instagram and Facebook showing up? Because I have one client who is not on social media and she's killing it, makes well over 500,000. Why? Because I couldn't clean up her thoughts about it. She hated it. So I help her show up in person. Nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to be there, clean up the thought errors that you have. Okay. I also wanted you to notice that what is on the bios. So I want to show you. So when you click like mine, again, this isn't my big deal, but when you click the link tree, and I don't know, I'm sure Tammany talks about this, but like, do you have a direct way for somebody to talk to you? Oh, she's having a listing queen lead gen blueprint training next week. Okay, let me go in there. Oh, she has a podcast. Let me go listen to the podcast. My point is, or are you guys even looking at this? Am I sharing my screen?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So my point is when you are caring, you're not afraid to direct them. Okay. When you're caring, you know what they need, and you boldly direct them to what they need to do from a place of caring. And it doesn't feel salesy, and it doesn't feel icky. Okay. People feel that. So you could say, hey, hot off, fresh off the press is my seller's guide that teaches you the secrets of how to really sell your house in a weekend in this market. Like, or whatever you feel, and then that's how you engage. Okay. Third C is compelling. It's compelling. All right. This is the whole thing. I love that movie, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. But she like came out with it. There was nothing left. Right. The over graspy chick is not compelling. And men are made to rescue a beauty. Like they're just made, that's their thing. Okay. And so you want to evoke interest. Okay. The definition of compelling is this: evoke interest, attention, evoke attention in a powerfully irresistible way. Please write that down. Compelling means to evoke interest or attention in a powerfully irresistible way. And honestly, I found Tammany to be irresistible. When you do your audit, when we're done, at some point, hopefully this week, you'll take action, right? And then you'll say, am I evoking interest in a powerfully irresistible way? Which is creative. That should be another C, is creative. Because the problem with getting inspired is that your creativity goes, and then you're looking at Susie or Johnny in your market who's doing well, and you're trying to replicate Susie or Johnny, but that's not who you are. Like, I have a Philly accent. If I try to act like a Southern belle, it will fall flat because I am not a Southern belle. So you need to be compelling in your particular way, right? Compelling is giving them a reason to come back, right? Giving them a reason to come back, and in a creative way. So the best way to get creative when you feel like you're in a slump, or when you feel like me compelling, no, what do I do? I'm just the same as everybody else, is take a week-long hiatus from all social media and find your creativity. Find what is compelling for you. And ladies, words are very telling. So what you want to do, hopefully you have a place where you're throwing your testimonials, right? Like, so that when you're down, you can look at your testimonials. People will tell you what they loved about you in testimonials. Bring them out. Like put a magnifying glass on that and think, okay, they love that I do this. How can I be creative and communicate that in a compelling way? Because you're making it way too hard. And again, that's you being in your brain with a spotlight on you. I need money. I have big, goals. Like I'm making 300. I want to make 500, or I'm making 80. I want to make 150, whatever it is, the spotlight's on you. And that is repelling. And then you say, well, I don't want to be salesy. You create the most repelling content when you're thinking, I don't want to be salesy, because you are. Like in emails, and I know this isn't like, Instagram or Facebook, but in emails, or even like your call to action on your Instagram or your Facebook, when you say, if I can ever help you, let me know. That is so salesy. That is so no. And
Reach
I
out to
hope
me if
I'm
you're
not triggering anyone. Go ahead, Tammany. What?
Reach out to me if you're interested. Blech.
Like, no. Like, follow me for more.
Follow me for more what?
Right. Okay. Follow me for more. Follow me for more tips on X. Follow me for more. Follow me for your simplest path to getting the most for your house. Follow me for the amazing life in Chattanooga. Right. Social credibility. Gina, did you have a question?
I think Tammany just answered it. I was just making sure that I understood correctly. So I have a lot of testimonials, but a lot of times whenever I've done a reel with my customer testimonials and stuff, but I feel like it's bragging. So you're saying that it's compelling and not repelling to share the testimonials?
Okay. It is, when you share a testimonial, who cares if you're bragging? Do you think it's wrong to brag?
Yeah.
Why?
I
Why
don't
is that
know.
bad?
I don't know. I do. I just feel guilty.
Okay. You got to clean that up, because
Mhm.
what if instead of that viewpoint, what if you think, wow, I wouldn't say this about myself, but Susie said this about me, and there are people out there who want this. So what a great way to share this fact about me. So it is the opposite of braggy.
Okay. Awesome. That's good to know. Okay. Well, I will quit it and start sharing and start,
But the thing is if, and so I'm glad you're saying this, but really, I want you to think more deeply about this, because you feel guilty. What? Because you make a lot of money? You feel guilty because ladies, when you step into being a CEO, and this is like a real business, maybe instead of just posting the testimonial, you pull out 4 key words. And then you tell a story about, hey, this is just my standard of care. Because you are important. Because what I like to think about is, and I don't like to think about this, but hear me out. Like last night, a little old man died of a heart attack. And right now, this morning, there was a little old woman who was lost. He paid the bills. They were old fashioned. She lost her life partner of 40 years, and she does not want to live in that house because he died of a heart attack in that house. She wants to move across country to move in with her daughter and her grandkids, and she's scared out of her mind. And you have helped other people in that situation. And you, unlike other snake agents that exist, will be the sweetest person to her. But she ain't finding you. She's finding the snake agent who shows up. So when you approach it from, I'm compelled. See how this works, ladies? Are you compelled to show up?
That actually made me tear up.
To show up, then they're going to be compelled to notice you. What'd you say, Gina?
That actually made me tear up when you said that.
Yeah.
I that painted such an amazing picture, and so good.
Yeah. Or I know when I was a realtor, I helped so many divorcing people. And and I remember this one woman called me. She kind of knew me from church, but she was really embarrassed. And she goes, George came home and said he's been cheating on me for 8 months. And, we have to sell the house. And long story short, we're sitting at closing, and her husband was a jerk the entire time. And he said, thank God, when he was done signing, he goes, thank God I'm done with your fat ass.
Oh my gosh.
That's what he said. Okay. And I love this woman. I still do. And I always did women, like my title company was a woman, like closing and everything. So we're sitting there and I said, what did you just say? And I made him say it again. I go, only the biggest asshole in the fucking world would say such a thing, because we all think you're the biggest fucking fat ass. And we love her. So get the fuck out. That's what I said.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Now I thought, and he looked so embarrassed. His face turned red. And sorry for the language, ladies, but this is what and man, this is what I'm saying. Like, That woman cried, and the three of us hugged. And I have chills. Me
Mhm.
and the title company and that woman hugged.
That's so good.
And she goes, "Thank you so much." I go, "Hey, if he writes me a bad review, we're the only two. Like, we're the only ones that know I said this. Like, I would never talk like that." But that pissed me. That was
Okay.
over the line.
Yeah. Can I ask one more thing? I actually went through a divorce after a 27-year marriage, and I'm wanting to use that as one of my niches to help divorced women because I was a mess. I was awarded the house in this big house and didn't know what to do with it. And so I was a mess for like a year. Finally, I ended up making $200,000 after I came to myself and relaxed and not tried to sell it right away. But I kind of need help on knowing how to use that as my niche and get that out there. And I'm having a hard time. So maybe
Well,
one of you
okay,
guys
so
can.
so Gina, I just want to say, when our words are powerful, ladies, when you declare, "I'm having a hard time," here's a reframe. Okay. Up until this moment, I've been feeling a block, but I'm going to, if
Oh,
I had to figure it out, what would I do? Because it's distrust. Because, ladies, I just want you to know, this is why I study neuroscience and it's part of my coaching, is that so many of us have had trauma that we have never dealt with. Okay. And then that trauma keeps us in a state of our nervous system, just not right. And so we don't trust ourselves. Okay. So you are declaring, every time you say that, you're making it even harder. Okay. So what I want to encourage you to do is give yourself some grace and be like, okay, people need me. Because what I did for that chick when that man said that, it was immature. I admit it was immature. I was pissed. Okay. But I could not. I felt like if I'm really repping this chick, I have to say something because we all do think the guy's an ass and a doofus, right? So what is inside of you that you went through in your own experience that positions you as perfect to help someone else? That and maybe the woman comes home and says, "I want a divorce." It can go either way. And then say, "Okay, Gina, who can I partner with?" Divorce attorneys. Because I have a client who went through a very difficult divorce. She had to get a restraining order. It was terrible. And she's my one-on-one client. And I said, "You need to go to divorce attorneys." And so she went to her own. She went to two others. And now she's getting leads from all three. And all three said to her, "Yeah, I know. Like, I always wondered why realtors weren't trying to reach out to me." And then we're thinking, "Oh, a divorce attorney is so much better than me. And they're like a real CEO. And what would they want with me? What would they want with me?" You share with them your value,
Mhm.
right? That
Yeah.
I've gone through it. Who better than
Yeah.
me to help them, right? So you give yourself permission to stop saying that you don't know, because you do know.
Yeah. That's good what you said, because I do have an inferior, like an imposter syndrome, also because my ex was an attorney. So I've got to get over that too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
thank you so much.
you're welcome. And you know what it is, everyone, is that if you stay in your lane, that's where you're going to feel great. Like for me, when I was a realtor, I loved interior design and I loved women's gumption and grittiness, because that's, I came from poor stock and, I was a baby of 6 kids. I had 3 big brothers that would always eat the meals. And if I didn't get there, I didn't get to eat. So like, I liked women that were gritty. I liked women entrepreneurs and I liked design. So who did I hang out with? Who did I seek out to establish collaboration and stuff with? Gritty women, you know what I mean? So therefore, when I showed up where I wanted to be, I felt great and I was on, right? My energy was good. And so that's why I took the town by storm, and people are like, "Who is this chick? Like, she doesn't talk like us. she, and all of a sudden, and people would steal my signs, but that's for another thing. As you get more popular, people will definitely hate you. But I hope that helps, Gina, because if you and each of you kind of stay in your own lane, decide what your lane is, and really stay in that lane, you're going to flourish like you never flourished before. It's when you're trying to fit in the average. You are not average. You didn't wake up today to be average.
Yeah, I actually had my sign stolen. So I
What's
guess
that?
that's a good, I actually had my sign stolen. So I guess that's a
Oh yeah,
good
it's
thing.
good. Everybody's stealing them. That's good. You're moving up. So I want to, as I finish, because I just want to share with you that if you go to my Facebook bio or my LinkedIn bio, next week I am having a free challenge, a free 5-day challenge, the Listing Queen Lead Gen Blueprint. And it's if you took my Listing Queen challenge a couple, like I've done that 3 or 4 times, this one is that on steroids, because I'm getting clearer every time. And guess what? So are you. Okay. So you go there and you sign up. And this is a journey, ladies. Entrepreneurship is a journey. It's exactly like life. And I want you to, I'll leave with this. Think about if you have had children, grandchildren, nieces, whatever, or even friends with kids. And when kids start walking like Frankenstein, like my grandson is now, he falls 1,000 times a day with a smile on his face. He has not been conditioned. He has not been whatever, and that's where we need to get our brain to. We need to clear out the clutter that is in our brains that is precluding us from not being afraid to get out there. Even if we fall down, we do it with a smile and we just keep on going and we enjoy the journey. Because when my granddaughter started going to school, she acted different. I'm like, dang, she's starting to be tainted, right? So don't be tainted. We are mature CEOs and we get to decide how it goes for us, no one else. And when you can step into that, your whole world expands, not just your business. So any other questions? Has this been helpful? Thank you, Kristen. I love your picture, by the way.
Yeah,
Welcome, Juanita, Gina.
Jan.
Yeah.
I have something to show you. So I was at your first Unstoppable and I still have the little flag.
Oh my gosh, Julie.
I
Wait.
just thought I'd share that with you. It was in Virginia, probably like how long? Yeah. And then I think I have a tiara too. And that's in my bedroom.
Yeah. Here, my tiara, my Listing Queen tiara.
Yeah, I got that too.
Oh, that is so cool, Julie.
But I think it was your first one. So that was probably
2018. No, 2019. It was 2019. Yeah. And then I had it scheduled. And then freaking COVID hit.
COVID. Yeah. Anyway.
I love being in person. Yes. I'm so glad you still have that.
Yeah.
Love it. Let's see. Anything else?
Just a reminder, you guys, we do have our live Q&A right after this. So if you would like to stay for that, for the engagement contest and everything, don't hop off quite yet.
Well, you're welcome, everybody. I will hop off. Reach out to me anytime. Jan Copeland on Facebook or Real Estate Coach #4 Women on Instagram. All right. Thank you, Tammany.
Thank you, Jan.
Bye.
All right, let's do like a 5-minute break, go potty, get some water, get some coffee, and then we'll come back. And if you want to pull up your engagement for the last 14 days in the meantime, you can do that as well.